It's November 4th, 2001. Game 7 of the World Series between the Yankees and Diamondbacks is tied with 1 out, the bases loaded, and Arizona's Luis Gonzalez at bat in the bottom of the 9th. You might know what's about to happen, but you can't really appreciate it without knowing what just happened, what happened before that, and what this moment means to everyone involved. To really feel the weight of what comes next, we need to rewind. We are looking right now at the latest in the calendar a World Series game has ever been played. Baseball being played in November is one tiny residual ripple effect of the September 11th attacks less than 2 months ago. This World Series is the first major sporting championship since 9/11. Beyond the delay, it's been interesting to see how business resumes while acknowledging a tragedy of that scale, especially with a New York team involved. The Yankees hosted games 3, 4, and 5 of this series, an occasion opened by President Bush throwing out a ceremonial first pitch. New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is in the stadium tonight, getting a lot of screen time. And the fingerprints of corporate America's response to tragedy are all over tonight's broadcast. The Emmys, which were delayed once by 9/11, then again by the declaration of war in Afghanistan, are taking place simultaneously with this game, which means we've gotten updates throughout. Also delayed was the premiere of this brand new show about a counter-terror agent, which will finally happen a couple days from now. Who knows how long that'll last. For the most part, the presentation of this game is business as usual, just with more nationalism and a bit more wind chill here in Phoenix because it's November. Insofar as sports matter in the real world, it would be special for New York to win big in the wake of tragedy. But viewed purely through baseball history, especially recent baseball history, the Yankees taking Game 7 to win this World Series wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, especially compared to their opponent. If the Yankees push this to extra innings and get the W, it'll be their 4th straight World Series victory. Their dynasty dates back to the 1998 season. The Diamondbacks' whole franchise dates back to the 1998 season, when they and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays were added to the MLB via expansion. This is the quickest an expansion team has ever made a World Series, so winning would be incredible, doubly so when you look at all pro sports in this state. Arizona now has franchises in every major professional sport, but no rings. The Phoenix Suns have made it to the finals a couple times, but ran into the Celtics dynasty of the 70s and the Bulls dynasty of the 90s. Their new WNBA counterpart, the Mercury, have hit a similar wall. Since moving to the area, the NHL's Coyotes and NFL's Cardinals haven't won anything important. To find a pro champion around here, you'll need to visit the Arena Football League, where the Arizona Rattlers have collected a couple trophies. So will the D-backs get this done and make Arizona pro sports history? Or will they go the way of those old Suns teams and become a footnote in the story of a legendary dynasty? It's funny because New York's been mowing down World Series opponents for as long as the Diamondbacks have existed, but this series hasn't been like that at all. In fact, despite the 3-3 tie, it's been lopsided in the other direction. Arizona dominated their 3 home games before today. Superstar pitchers Curt Schilling and Randy Johnson held New York's batters completely in check in games 1 and 2. And Johnson got back on the mound for game 6, while his offense did most of the work dismantling the Yankees 15-2. That tied the series. Because New York did win games 3, 4, and 5 in the Bronx, they just didn't win any of them convincingly. The stats in this series aren't close, especially after that joke of a Game 6, but only the final scores count, so 3-3 it is. 3 easy wins for Arizona, 3 nail-biters for New York. The way New York earned those 3 narrow victories echoed in some decisions made tonight. Go back to the top of this inning and look who's on the mound. That's not a regular reliever, that's Randy Johnson, the Game 6 starter. Here's why. Because Arizona's starting pitchers have been masterful in this series, the Yankees have done a disproportionate amount of their scoring in the latter innings against relief. Specifically, it's been Diamondback closer byung-hyun Kim blowing saves. Arizona held a lead entering the bottom of the 9th of Game 4, but Kim gave up a game-tying homer to Tino Martinez, then a walk-off to Derek Jeter just after the crack of midnight on November 1st. 24 hours later, Kim again found himself trying to protect a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 9th and failed to do so, surrendering a game-tying Scott Brosius homer in a Game 5 the Yankees would eventually win on a walk-off hit by rookie Alfonso Soriano. Fast forward to tonight. The 34-year-old Schilling started this game for Arizona, and he was typically excellent, just humiliating Yankee hitters with his fastball.
We have seen some horrible Yankee swings against the pitching of Curt Schilling.
Schilling's first real hiccup came in the 7th inning when he got into a bit of a jam and gave up an RBI single to Tino Martinez. Schilling got out of that inning with just the 1 run surrendered, but since he was set to lead off batting the next frame and sucks at that, the announcers assumed Arizona manager Bob Brenly would seize the opportunity to sub in a pinch hitter, then replace Schilling on the mound the next inning.
Now clearly, Bob Brenly will be pinch hitting for Schilling.
He didn't. The first-year manager let Schilling go up there and strike out so he could keep him pitching in the 8th. And Schilling made that decision look bad, as the rookie Soriano golfed one over the wall for his second huge hit of the series. At that moment, Brenly faced another decision. After bringing in Miguel Batista to get the next out, he had to pick a pitcher to close out a game the D-backs were already losing. He narrowed it to 2 men. Kim, the regular closer who'd issued 2 disastrous blown saves in New York, or the wild card, Johnson, a starter with minimal relief experience and who threw over 100 pitches just 1 night ago. Brenly chose Johnson, the unusual and exhausted arm over the usual but unlucky arm. Johnson got out of the 8th and through the 9th with ease. Which is why the Yankees are still sitting on just the 2 runs. A tough decision paid off. Yankee manager Joe Torre is in the opposite boat at this moment. He made an easy, obvious decision, and it's not going the way anyone expected. While Arizona's top starters have owned this World Series, the Yankees have made it competitive not just with clutch hits, but with clutch pitching, mostly thanks to their closer, Mariano Rivera. Rivera is a 4-time All-Star. He was World Series MVP in '99. Even in a relatively down year, he led the majors in saves this season. He has the best postseason ERA of all time, 23 straight playoff saves and 0 career playoff losses. Here in the World Series, he's stayed great, with crucial scoreless outings in each of the 3 Yankee wins. Tonight, another All-Star, 39-year-old Roger Clemens, started for the Yankees. Clemens was iffy coming into this game because of a sore hamstring, but he pitched brilliantly. Strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. Clemens only gave up 1 run, and it was because of another interesting decision by Bob Brenly. Danny Batista came up to face Clemens in the bottom of the 6th with Steve Finley on first and the game still scoreless. The Yankees assumed Batista would sacrifice bunt in order to advance Finley to second and set up an RBI for someone else, so Clemens threw Batista a high fastball. But Batista had been hot all series, so Brenly told him to take 1 swing at it before defaulting to the bunt.
I'll put bunt on and then I'll change my mind. I'm going to give him 1 whack at it right here.
In came the high fastball, crack went the bat, and the Diamondbacks had their first run of the evening. Clemens stayed on the mound for a bit after that miscue, but once he gave up another hit in the 7th, it was time for Torre to pull the plug on his sore old starter. He let Mike Stanton finish the inning, then made his extremely easy decision to open the 8th. The Yankees needed 6 more outs. Mariano Rivera, perhaps the clutchest postseason pitcher ever, was the man for the job. And sure enough, Rivera hurled 3 strikeouts to get out of the 8th. All Mariano needed to do to win the Yankees a historic 4th straight World Series was the same thing he'd done hundreds of times before: pitch 1 clean inning. Clearly, that didn't happen. The game is tied and the bases are loaded. Rivera's got himself in a bad spot. What happened? Well, Mark Grace singled.
Into center field, a good start for Arizona. Grace with his 3rd hit.
Rivera fielded a bunt, but he and a slightly injured Derek Jeter couldn't make the play at second.
DeLucci will stay, and it's 2 on with nobody out.
Again a bunt, this time right to third base where Scott Brosius made the out and might have been able to turn 2 if he threw to first, but he didn't. Then Tony Womack, of all people, doubled in the game-tying run.
Tony Womack delivers, it's 2-2.
And Rivera hit Craig Counsell in the knuckle to load the bases. And here we are. Bases loaded, 1 out, game tied 2-2. Not great. So how's Rivera gonna get out of this? Remarkably, he's done it before, recently, and in a similar scenario. In the top of the 11th of Game 5, Rivera had the bases loaded with 1 out and the game tied 2-2. Joe Torre, his manager, had the option to pull his infielders in hopes of turning any ground ball into an easy out at home plate. Instead, Torre played aggressive. He kept the infield back, hoping to snag anything hit further or potentially come up with a double play. As it happened, that alignment put Soriano, the second baseman, in the perfect spot to make an incredible catch on a Reggie Sanders line drive. Rivera induced a grounder for the final out, and New York went on to win. This is an identical scenario, except for the crucial distinction that it's not the top of an inning in Game 5 where a run wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world. This is the bottom of the 9th of Game 7. A run would be the end of the world series. Torre has been managing for decades. He's seen moments like this before, and he's not going to roll the dice a second time. He's got his infielders in, ready to pounce on anything short and make the play at home plate in hopes of keeping the game tied. If a ball's hit over the head of an infielder, well, that'll be it. Speaking of hitting the ball, let's talk about the man tasked with doing that, Luis Gonzalez. Gonzalez started his career as a promising youngster for the Astros, but by his late 20s, hadn't improved much as he bounced from team to team. Before the '99 season, the Tigers traded him to the Diamondbacks for Kareem Garcia. Since then, he's blossomed into a star, and 2001 has been his best season by far. Gonzalez had a record-setting April, started his second All-Star game in July, and won the Home Run Derby as well. He crushed 57 homers on the season, a career high by a long shot, and something that might make him NL MVP and the big national baseball story, if not for that guy.
Number 73!
Tonight, Gonzalez hasn't had it. He's hitless and has struck out twice, including once the prior inning against Rivera. But this right here is his opportunity. This could be Gonzalez's moment to end the game on a walk-off and instantly become a World Series hero. It's a moment delayed by unthinkable tragedy and surrounded by our confused response to it. If this moment goes well for Gonzalez, it could make Arizona one of the fastest-built professional champions ever in a state that's never really had one. It could reward the exceptional performance of one of the greatest pitching tandems ever and validate their rookie manager in his game of chess against a veteran. If this doesn't work out, it'll be because one of the clutchest pitchers ever overcame immense pressure yet again, and it'll give this Yankee dynasty their 4th straight championship, as narrowly as they've ever done it. Okay, welcome to a moment in history.
Center field, the Diamondbacks are world champions.
Thank you very much for watching Rewinder. Please keep recommending episode topics for us, and please keep liking and subscribing and keep drinking water because it's important to stay hydrated.